welcome to another crime-stopping episode of this chat show that's so good it should be behind bars.
Ooh, yes, it's time for the G-Spot, and this week we've got a troublesome trio of guests to whet your taste buds.
Coming up on tonight's show, we have the editor of the Top Lads magazine who began his writing career while locked up in an Eastern prison for gold smuggling.
There's no stopping our own crime fighter Barney as he puts into disguise, does a Roger Cook, and goes undercover to expose more torrid truth.
And the female rapper, stage named Jenny Bean, who met a charismatic gangster and fell in love with him after he'd been arrested for attempted murder.
Plus the award-winning actor who has played on both sides of the law and was labelled the most hated man on TV. As you can see, there's plenty to keep you chained to your seat. That's my favourite position.
Oh, lovely. Our first guest graduated with a law degree but turned to the dark side of crime whilst in Hong Kong, where he became involved in a gold smuggling circle. Unfortunately, customs in Kathmandu were tipped off about the 4 stone of gold hidden in his denim waistcoat, and Piers found himself facing an 8-year jail sentence. Thankfully, quality contacts meant he only had to spend 8 months in the clean. Please welcome to the G-Spot, Piers Ernew. There you go, Piers. Now, what were these quality contacts?
It was basically my uncle who hadn't left the country in about 17 years, and he just happened to used to be in MI6 or whatever. We would never talk about it, but he kind of knew how business was done out in the likes of Nepal, Saudi Arabia, and whatever. So he decided to kind of fish out his passport and found he had 4 passports. He didn't know which one was the real one, but they were all really good copies anyway, so it didn't really matter. He just came out and started speaking to people.
So what
So
were
is
you
it the old school tie? Oh, hang on a minute. Is
What
it
were
the
you
old school
thinking?
tie then, Piers?
It wasn't really the
Well,
old school
posh, aren't you? Let's face it.
Yeah, well...
You're not like this rubbish in here.
No, not at all, I would hope not. But it wasn't the old school tie, because he wasn't dealing with, like, English public school people over there. Not that I went to public school, but he was just dealing with Nepalese politicians, and he's just saying, listen, this geezer's in prison. You know it's not his gold. He's actually quite a nice bloke, and he's a relative of mine. I've come out here to bring him home. Can you help me? And
After 8 months or in a Far Eastern prison, I mean, your ring piece must have been stinging like the beginning of Bonanza.
What, the curry?
Wasn't
You're
gonna
absolutely
say
right.
that. Wasn't gonna
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
what I meant.
Oh, sorry. My mistake. No, actually it wasn't, because we didn't really eat the food out there. We just sent someone every day to go and do the shopping in the market nearby, and just like ate cauliflower and
well deflected.
spices and all that kind of stuff.
So
You
is
got
that
away
where
with that
you
one.
came up with the idea of Front Magazine? I mean, were you thinking, I'm here, it's really shit, excuse me, but it's really awful. I'm going to think about girls with lovely breasts and things, and just articles
Funny you
about
should
sex
mention that.
and things like that.
Girls with lovely breasts.
Is that where you came up with the inspiration? Or it was just
Not
writing?
really. I mean, I used to be in the city, and I had some kind of boring job in the city as a trader, and I just had to write so many letters to my mum and dad and my mates when I was in prison, saying, listen, I'm in the nick, but to be honest with you, it's not too bad, and this is what's happening, and this is a funny incident. And I actually really enjoyed putting together a letter. When you've got 3 or 4 days to write a letter, you can make sure it's a really good one. You can change the beginning, add some jokes, change the ending, swap around a few sentences. And if you actually enjoy that process, which is like creating an article effectively, writing creatively, and you think, well, perhaps if I enjoy it, then I'd be good at it, and perhaps I can actually make a living from it. And I just thought, well, I can't go back into the city, because they won't have me because I've been nicked. But what I can do is go into the media where everyone's a crook anyway.
Was it very hard for you, though, to go from then, the little convict thing, to having a normal per se job? And I mean, have you had a lot of stick, or people with a lot of closed doors and things like that?
Well, I didn't really tell people, and they didn't know what had happened to me. But the difficult thing is, if you want to be a writer, that's all very well, but you've got to get...
some experience, you have to have some life experience.
You do have to have some life experience, but more important than that, you have to get something published. And if you haven't had anything published before, you have this chicken and egg situation. But I came out, I thought, I really like to be a writer. What am I going to write about? And then I thought, if you completed it, you'd just be in prison for like 8 months. Why don't you try and write about that? I thought, yeah, okay, right. I did that, and I wrote it for Loaded and The Independent.
Can it become glamorous, though? The life of, you know, if you've had a convict lifestyle per se, not so much all the time, but you had incidents.
Yeah.
Is there a tendency to make it?
I think there is, because I think naturally the human mind looks back on situations of adversity, as that undoubtedly was, and does not want to remember it as 8 wasted months of your life. You look back on the good times, the fun, the laughter, and the humour, and things, times when you learn things. You don't look back on the times when you were rocking backwards and forwards, crying with your head in your hands, thinking, I'm in really deep trouble here, and I'm 25, I'm not going to be having sex or drinking or doing whatever I want to do for the next 8
With
years.
women, you should have put.
With women, well, you know, I can have sex
To
with
sort of
many,
help you out a bit
as many
there.
blokes as I want. But you know, this is a time of when I should have the most fun in my life, and I'm not allowed to leave these 4 walls. You know?
And yet it's glamorous.
Well,
Just finishing off quickly, it's glamorous, but you still didn't get off with that girl who's the editor of the other magazine in that Between the Covers programme.
No,
did you?
she wasn't impressed by that at all. You know, I did my level best there, but she wasn't having any of it.
well, it's not all glamour, and also Barney found that out because our intrepid reporter Barney, who hits the streets once again to fight the forces of crime.
Cheers, Terry. How are you, Danny? You alright, love? At the end of the day, we're all criminals, aren't we? We know we are. I'm no exception. We all cut corners. We do things that we shouldn't do. So I've come down to my local town again, around Didsbury, around Fallowfield in Manchester, where I'm going to have a word with a few people that are breaking laws and that are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. I think this is them now. Excuse me. I'm afraid your time's up now. We've heard about what you're exporting. Excuse me. I'm afraid it's time you've been caught.
Caught for what?
You've been caught. We've got you on camera now. You can't deny anything about exposing yourself to young boys.
What?
I've heard about what you're exporting to Scandinavia. What do we do then? What do we do? Well, apparently the countries... excuse me.
Sorry?
How are you? Sorry to bother you, but it's obvious now that we've been following you for some time, and the exposure that you've been doing to these young guinea pigs, the
What?
British guinea pigs, the guinea pigs you've been taking abroad. Obviously, I expect you to pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about.
Who am I?
I know what you do.
You're wasting my time.
No.
You're wasting my time.
I know what you do.
You're wasting my time. I'm going somewhere. Leave me alone.
I know that you're supplying a big pillar company with shavings from your hair. I know that most of the Scandinavian people that have pillars, I've got hair. I've got hair in the pillars.
Enough's enough.
Hello. It's true that you've been exporting turtles' heads to create this leather jacket.
No.
I know what you're doing.
Go away.
I know what you're doing, lad.
Go away. Go away. I'm telling you now, you better go away.
Mr. Turnsall, we've finally realised what you're up to.
What?
We've finally realised what you're up to. About the inflatable sheet you've been importing from the other side of the Pennines, from Leeds.
Nah, what are you talking about?
You've been trying to get into the Pennines from Manchester. Mr. Turnsall, you deny the allocations here?
Listen, son.
You deny it,
Back
yeah?
off, back off.
The inflatable sheet you're trying to
Back
take.
off now.
So you're saying you've not took inflatable sheet? You've not took inflatable sheet, is that what you're saying? You're afraid to show your face to camera, yeah? Just goes to show you, everyone is guilty of something, especially in this paranoid city of Manchester. You know what I mean? Everyone's got something to hide. Terry and Danny, you watch your backs.
See, there you go, Roger Cook. You ain't seen nothing till you've seen Men Motors. Our next guest has lived with the gangster Dave Courtney for the past 11 years, who was convicted for attempted murder and served 3.5 years in the nick. He later recorded a rap track about Dave during the period that he was organising the security for Cockney bad boy Ronnie Cray's funeral. The single was called Who Is He, which sold 18,000 copies. Please welcome to the G-Spot, Jen Courtney. Jen, did you make a lot of money?
Doing the record?
Yeah.
Not loads. I had it in instalments. So
It
when you get it like
seem
that,
a
it's
bit
not a lot of money.
morbid, talking about rapping about
About
the funeral, you know, your
I wasn't
favourite
rapping about the funeral.
Well,
it was actually a record about Dave, but at the time he just got through a court case where he was on trial for murder, and the only evidence that we had was everyone knows it's Dave.
well, we've had Dave on the show before, and he's a real character, and I actually do him to pieces. But I think I quite like the bad boy in people.
Which one?
But he actually picked you out, didn't he? You were doing a show.
Well, I
a
actually went to like Dave owned a club called the Fitness Centre in Southwark, and his promoter for the club actually hired my sister and myself. I got a twin sister, and we were just a rap group at the time. We weren't a bit. Her name's Sugar Baby and mine was Jenny Bean. We went to the club. We done the do, and Dave came over, said he enjoyed it, bought us a bottle of champagne, thanked us, asked if he could hire us again, and then off we went. And then he came back over to me and said, I don't know if you've got a partner or anything, but...
He said that night, didn't he? You're the
That
woman
very
for
night
me.
he said, but I'm definitely going to have you. And I thought, how would you like me?
And that was 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all glamorous? It must have been quite hard though. 'Cause he's quite a romantic bloke.
Mm-hmm.
Before for this chat, did you know who he was and
No.
what he? So what was it? What did you feel like when you actually met him and he found out what he did? And
Because I didn't know his background, I actually fell for him before I realised what he'd done.
is it
Not
easy
that
to
would have stopped me.
forgive then?
I didn't have to forgive him for anything. He's always come up with the goods, trust me.
But he's never. I mean, there must have been some times where you've been sitting there late at night waiting for him to come home and he hasn't. You always worry about what he's been up to and...
I do worry about Dave, but only like as someone that you love, you worry about someone that you love, but I don't actually sit there with Sarasi going, oh my God, who is he, and all that. No, I don't worry. And I've been out with Dave, and if he doesn't come, he could be on his way home. We could be on our way home, like, you know, would be an hour, but on the way you meet people, it takes another 4 or 5 hours, so I know it could be a possibility of that, it doesn't matter. You know,
So what sort of people do you hang
I was
out
going to
with?
say, you'll listen to anyone, won't you? Believe anything.
What sort of people are your friends and who do you hang out with? You know, for a night out, where do you go? What do you do?
Oh, we go to, we do the film premiere things and all that, that's really nice. We go to Stringfellows, Fabric, Minister Sand.
So you know a lot of celebrities?
Yeah, but
Is there anybody that's into something a bit dodgy? Any celebrities that come over as very clean?
Yeah, but I ain't gonna say, am I? No comment.
Terry,
What?
we've known Jen for years.
Have her. Now, don't let the cat out of the bag there. So we'll have a bit of music now. We'll be back to speak to our charming guest after the break. In the meantime, this is Sad Frank's Disco and their version of that bloke Elvis Presley's Jailhouse Rock.
Walked through a body in the kind of jail. Pretty man when they began to wail. Down jumping and began to swing. Surely have a nice time jail, but still let's try. Everybody, let's try. Everybody in the hotel box was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Fighting on the brakes and the saxophone. Bill Jones blowing on the fire trombone. John Bob milling on the castle band. The whole room dancing was the bell, but now let's try. Everybody, let's try. Everybody in the hotel box was dancing to the jailhouse rock. Number 47 at the 43.
And welcome back to the G-Spot.
Yes, our next guest has been acting for the past decade and has played both the copper and the robber. His first break was in an ITV drama where he played a taxi driver and then went on to star in the award-winning Raining Stones. He then gave an acclaimed performance as the lead role in Cops and won another trophy for the rape scenes in A Time to Dance. Please welcome at the G-Spot, Jack Marsden. Oh, we're getting all excited there. One award after the other. I mean, the thing is, most of the stuff that I've seen you in has been quite, very, very sort of gripping, realistic drama. I mean, does that mean that a lot of the parts that you play end up spilling into your personal life? So people think, oh, it's just like that, really.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I don't know, I've kind of been on the fringe for a long time. It's like I tend to play all the sort of...
Semi-psychos.
Yeah, the psycho roles, or the real roles, or the roles that other people don't want to do. I mean, I've been a rapist, a racist, an assassin, an IRA killer, a wife beater.
Good roles.
Yeah,
I've played a few. I've played a few. Well, most of the roles I've played, it's like they tend to be, the guy's either normal and then goes off the range. So they tend to be good at the beginning, or
Well,
they
that's
try
more
to be.
interesting though. As far as, dramas go, it's much more interesting if you're watching somebody that, is a crime, like Dave.
It's
in a
not
way.
good.
Give
It's not
him
good for
fairness.
getting
He's a
adverts,
criminal,
though,
but
is it?
He's got his nice personality.
You know what I mean? You don't get to do adverts for chocolate and stuff like that.
No, I'm not. I'm
You know what I mean?
not
And that's where the money
expecting
is.
Tesco to ring.
Look,
Yeah, I'm not
You don't get
expecting
your
Tesco
60
to
grand
ring
for
me and
doing.
promote something, because I mean, one of the funny things, I had one of the agents phone up and he said the cooperative insurance are interested in using you, and I went, oh, that's fine. I said, are they using me because they like the look of me, as in a person, or are they using me because I'm Jack Morrison who's played these roles? And he went, well, it doesn't matter. I said, no, I think it does. He said, I think you better. I said, do they know what I've been doing for the last 2 years? And he went, well, we don't know. We'll just check. So they phoned up, you know, the agent checked. And imagine it was there I am trying to sell some insurance. And then people go, yeah, he's that copper who beat the hell out of that girl in that show. What the bloody hell's going on? So they found out. And everyone went, oh, no, that's Jack Morrison. Oh, no, we don't want him. We don't want him.
And they gave
So
it to Bez.
Yeah.
But Jack, do you get more fan mail when you're being a bad boy than you do when you're being a
It's a
good
funny
boy?
thing. I mean, the most fan mail I think I ever received. To be honest, I'm receiving a fair bit now, which is nice.
Most of your fan mail's from blokes.
Most of it seems to be
Apparently.
from blokes. Yeah, I don't know what's going. Yeah, go figure.
What,
Writing to you from prison.
Yeah, I've got a couple from Piers actually. Yeah. that Thailand post rubbish, but it's it's about 50-50. That's surprising.
I mean, obviously, I worked on the TV, and I was gonna ask you about hate mail, because I used to try and get most of mine written by lunchtime.
I've not really had any hate mail. I've had hate in the streets, which you know bruises more. I think I'd rather to get hate.
Mind you, aren't you the wrong person to mess about with in the streets? Aren't you a black belt at
Yeah,
martial arts and all that?
Yeah, I did all of that at university and things. I mean, I like to
What, beat people up or just martial arts?
No, I used to do martial arts. I used to fight for my university. I mean, I went to Loughborough University, as most people know, in the
Lots of
university.
fighting
What,
going on
just to
in the bar.
kick their heads in, or was it a
Student
tournament?
union.
No, I used to just like kicking people's heads.
Was you like going with a firm, you know? You go down
No,
to
the
West
worst
Ham
thing was,
with
you
your
get all the
balaclava
rugby
on.
players, like Loughborough University is renowned for its rugby players because they always used to win all the time, and then we'd come home from our tournaments and we'd be battered and bruised, but invariably we'd win. And then they'd be all going, oh, look at these and all that, and start picking on us.
Because
we
some
kicked shit
time
out of them
ago,
just
you
for the
wanted
practice.
actually to be a stuntman, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the first thing. I've got some good mates who are...
You like kicking ass.
No, I'm not.
It was on Emmerdale.
I was on Emmerdale. I was trying to get... Well, it took two of us to see.
He arrested Alan Bradley. I've never been able to go on a tram since.
Yeah, episode 3000 and 3001 of Coronation Street, when we were digging for Reese's.
3001.
Yeah, I can remember that.
Piers is there thinking, you haven't got trams in London, have you?
Don't start with that.
He's
sort of
barely
thing.
got a
You
tube
will
at the
one day.
moment. He's like,
He doesn't have trams, he's got a lot in common with Piers, because if he's not being bad, Piers does a day job, and he reckons it's the best job in the world. Have a butcher's and see what you think.
being into a front magazine is, I don't know, I haven't tried that many jobs but in the rest of the world, but this is certainly one of the, I imagine it's one of the best in the world. It certainly is to me, because it's what I'm into, you know, having fun, meeting different interesting people, going on cover shoots and doing interviews and going abroad for free and creating things, coming up with ideas and doing a bit of telly now and again. It's kind of varied, and I think variety is important. It's not the best paid job in the world by a long way, but I've never really been into money. But so what I'm saying in a roundabout way is yes, it is. What I look for in a job is not the money, just the kind of fun. So that, you know, wake up on a Monday morning, you don't go, oh my God, I've got to go to work. You just go, yeah, let's get on the tube and go.
Yeah, so now, you see, we were going to talk about, now, your husband was there, wasn't he? Now, I can tell you know, he's not a law about... Because he wasn't wearing a crash helmet, was he there?
No, it wasn't, no.
And neither were you. Piers, what are you trying to do to yourself?
I don't know, because I was just come round the corner without a crash on me. You know,
Be hard.
we just obey.
Be hard. That's right. Listen, I don't go anywhere without my helmet.
Show up, I don't believe you.
Well, protection on your
I
helmet.
don't
I mean,
believe you.
seriously, what is it? What is it about, you know, these sort of very naughty boys that attracts women?
Go on, Jen.
No, naughty,
Come on.
I don't know, it's just, you know, like if you get an adrenaline rush, you know, like, it's
Well,
a
they
buzz,
say
isn't it?
Piers a great
It's a buzz,
aphrodisiac.
exactly. Not that I'm frightened of him, but he does make me rush.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the Del Boy character.
No,
Like,
no, I don't
well, I know
think
yours is
Del
lovely
Boy is
too,
horny
like
at
Del
all.
Boy, for me,
Ugh.
is the ultimate. He's, oh...
What, in a three-wheeler, you mean?
Ugh.
Three-wheeler and a camel
I
coat.
love me, love my car.
He has a few dodgy deals, this, that and the other, but he's a lovable character.
Mm.
They're not animals, it's the fact that
Yeah.
they're good-humoured, lovely people that just have a
You
different
love the
way.
mums.
It's one of those,
Yeah.
they just can't help being naughty.
One of the funniest
Can't
things
help it.
I saw when we were filming The Cops at the beginning, he was quite a nice sort of Lothario going out with the girls type. And then halfway through, when I had the fight scenes with the girlfriend and I beat her and a mate up, I thought, here we go, I'm going to get loads of shit for this. And I went into the post office the next day, and a one behind the counter went, you're him, aren't you? You were beating that girl up last night. And I thought, here we go, I'm going to get loads now. And she turned around and said, oh, you were bang out of order. But you don't get sacked, do you? No, you don't get sacked out the place. And they were worried that that was it, that was me finished. And I was like, I thought, hang on a minute.
Well,
this is
was
like...
smuggling the gold the first really bad thing you've done, Piers?
It was the first major illegal thing I'd done, barring the usual kind of illegality of your average youth.
Did you have a girlfriend at the time?
You know, buying drugs or whatever when I was
Did you have a
young.
girlfriend
drugs?
at the time?
Oh, well, listen, it's the wrong kind of show to be talking
Yeah,
about
well,
that sort
sorry,
of
yeah,
thing,
but I
Rob.
mean, you know, I did have a girlfriend at the time,
Did
and
she take it well?
no, not really. She actually, whilst I was in prison, and she sent me a letter. Guns N' Roses came to play in Germany, where she was a Lufthansa air stewardess, and she slept with a drummer, Matt Sorum, whilst I was in prison. That's what happens to you when, you know, you're in prison.
Did you write back to her and ask if she bought a mate?
No, I wish I had, but I just, you know, I was a big fan of the band anyway. I thought, well, they can have my girlfriend whilst I can't.
Listen, the denim waistcoat and a fan of Guns N' Roses, I worry about your future,
Me
but
too.
thank you very much, Jennifer. Thank you, Jack. And thank you, Piers. Well, that's about it from us tonight. We'll be back next week. Meanwhile, this is San Francisco, their version of Sam Cooke's Chain Gang.